In the main answer writing, value addition makes an important component because it makes your answers from a general answer to a specific answer. So it helps us to gain more marks. Okay, so in this series we will try to see some of the very important value addition points which you can use in your mains to improve your marks. So in the first video we will try to see different case laws which you can use to substantiate your points not only in GS2, that is in polity, but also in GS1 as well as in the case studies. So in this video we will try to see some of the major case laws, Supreme Court judgments which were in news, and we can use them in our writing answers. So first case you must have read in the current affairs is the State of Punjab versus Davinder Singh 2024 case. It is about the sub-classification of SCs and STs in case of reservation. Okay, so whenever it is coming the question about the reservation, that is under Article 15, Article 16, so whether this categorization is allowed or not in this SC and ST, and you are that in those kind of questions we can use these judgments to substantiate our points. So related to the reservation points, we can write this. It was in this case Supreme Court has overturned its previous decision, which was E.V. Chinnaiya versus State of Andhra Pradesh case. E.V. Chinnaiya versus State of Andhra Pradesh case. In this case, Supreme Court held that scheduled caste are homogeneous group, so there no need for the subdivision. That was the previous judgment. So in this judgment, Supreme Court has overturned. In the questions like in reservation, you can use E.V. Chinnaiya case as favor of against the subcategorization, and you can use State of Punjab versus Davinder Singh case in support of subcategorization of scheduled caste. So these kind of cases you can use. This is 2004 case. This is 2004 case. I'll update in the notes, and this notes you will get in the Telegram channel of Sarat Chandra IS Academy. Okay, next case is the same-sex marriage case. What is it? Same-sex marriage case. The case name is Supriyo Chakravarti versus Union of India. Supriyo Chakravarti versus Union of India. This is also a recent case of 2023. Is here Supreme Court has held that there is no fundamental right to marry in India. So there is no right, fundamental right. A same-sex couples can claim legal recognition of their marriage. So that Supreme Court has clarified. The second thing you can use is that Supreme Court have also upheld or respected the doctrine of separation of power, because in this case Supreme Court said that court could not legislate on the cure marriages. So they said that it is a domain of legislature. Next point is that Supreme Court also have recommended or directed union that central government should establish a committee which will assess the rights and entitlement of individuals in cure relationship without labeling them as a marriage. So basically protect them. That is the given. So this point is very helpful, or it can be used as writing the conclusion or writing some way forwards. Okay. Next case similar to this case, that is the Supriyo Chakravarti versus Union of India case. Nalsa case was also related to this LGBTQ plus communities rights. It was the case of 2014 in which Supreme Court have given legal recognition to transgenders as third gender. That is the first thing. The second thing, in this case Supreme Court said that every person have the right to self-identify their gender. Next case is Navtej Singh Johar case, which is of 2018. In this, Supreme Court have decriminalized homosexuality by striking down the IPC section 377. This is also related to the homosexuality or their rights. Next important case comes Anup Banwal versus Union of India case 2023. This case you can use by for the substantiation of the points like Election Commission of India's independence, the rights and obligations as well as the independence of the ECI to conduct the free and fair election in India. In those kind of questions, you can quote Anup Banwal versus Union of India case 2023. Here Supreme Court has told to form a committee in which there will be the Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition in the Parliament, and Chief Justice of India will be the member to recommend the ECI, Election Commission of India. But you know that the Parliament have passed a legislature where they have formed a separate committee in which the Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition, and in place of CJI, the Home Minister will be the member. So that change central government have brought. Next important case is the abrogation of Article 370 of the Constitution. Article 370 had been in the news again. So there can be a direct question on this, on the Article 370 or the rights of the Jammu and Kashmir, independence of the Jammu and Kashmir, and related such questions can be asked. In those questions, this judgment becomes very important. Here Supreme Court had clearly said that Article 370 was a temporary provision. So it was held by the Supreme Court. Governor can assume all or any role of the state legislature because the case was criticized, or the abrogation of Article 370 was criticized based on the ground that the state legislature was not taken into the confidence. But Supreme Court said that the governor have the complete power to take the role of state legislatures. Next important point is that the challenge whether the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act of 2019 was constitutionally valid or not was also challenged. Here also Supreme Court said that the views of state legislature are just recommendatory. They are not binding on the parliament. So it is a valid, it has been held by Supreme Court as valid. Then this you can use as recommendation, where Supreme Court said that the Jammu Kashmir statehood should be restored before 30th September of 2024. Those who are giving mains, the mains will be before 30th September. So you can give it as recommendation whenever there is question about the Jammu and Kashmir issue, whether it is in GS2 or in GS3, where there is topic of developmental relationship between the internal security challenges, that is the extremism and the development, where we have the topic of Jammu and Kashmir militancies. There also you can use this Supreme Court judgment recommendation. Related to this case, there is SR Bomai case. In this case, Supreme Court said that there are limitations on the governor's power. So this also you can read and you can quote related to the governor's power. Next important case is Subhas Desai versus Principal Secretary of 2023 case. It is 2023 case, popularly known as the Shiv Sena versus Shiv Sena case of 2023. Here Supreme Court have given three important principles, or you can say that their comments on the three important provisions of the constitution and the laws where we can use. First is that Supreme Court clarified that the governor has very limited role in the legislative proceedings in the parliamentary form of government. That is the first thing. Second thing, Supreme Court emphasized the importance of flow test in the decision making process in the legislature or in the parliament or state legislatures. Third is that here they have reiterated the principles related to the disqualification under the 10th schedule, that is the anti-defection law. Last is the political neutrality of the governor is very important. This point you can use not only in GS2 but also in GS4, where we have the topic of neutrality. Then next case comes is the Kausal Kishore versus State of Uttar Pradesh. It talks about the wherever there is conflict between the two fundamental rights, what should be our stand. Here the articles like Article 19, 21 are involved, as well as Representation of People's Act of 1951 is also involved. Here Supreme Court has held that individuals' right to freedom of speech and expression protected under Article 19 cannot be restricted to protect the dignity of another individual under Article 21. So this is very interesting case and very important case, because on this UPSC can directly ask questions that wherever there is conflict between two fundamental rights, what should be our stand? What Supreme Court said, that we should try to find a balance or prioritize one right over the other. Okay, the second thing Supreme Court said is that we cannot impose another ground for the restriction on the freedom of speech and expression, because under Article 19(2) already there are enough grounds to restrict the freedom of speech and expression. So there is no requirement of putting another ground on Article 19. Similar to this case, that is the Kausal Kishore versus State of Uttar Pradesh 2023, there is important case of Maneka Gandhi versus Union of India case of 1978. In this case also, Supreme Court said that the Article 21 have the broad meaning. It contains a lot of rights. Okay, as you must be aware, recently the protection from the adverse effect of the climate change also be included under the Article 21 as a fundamental right. The next case comes in the Rahul Gandhi defamation case, which became very popular these days. So the case name was Rahul Gandhi versus the Purnesh Ishwarbhai Modi and others case of 2023. In this case, Supreme Court has interpreted Article 102 as well as Section 499 and 500 of IPC. Now it has been changed to the BNS. So that we will cover in the next video. That Section 8 of the Representation of People Act 1951 was interpreted. Here Supreme Court has said that the freedom of speech and expression of the politician, excessive and irrational use of the punishment was involved in this case. That is exactly 2 years punishment was given in this case to Rahul Gandhi. So here Supreme Court said that why that maximum punishment was given for that particular case. So those kind of cases were involved. Similar to this case, Lily Thomas case of 2013 is also important, because here Supreme Court had held that there is immediate disqualification when a MP or MLA have been convicted for a crime and sentenced for minimum of 2 years. Then there will be immediate disqualification from holding offices. So this was the case. Next important case comes is the legality of Jallikattu practices in India. The case name is Animal Welfare Board of India versus Union of India of 2023. In this case, Supreme Court have interpreted Article 2948 and the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960. In this case, this is very important case. From the wherever there is a conflict between the cultural practices and the animal rights or environmental conservation, you can quote this case of Animal Welfare Board of India versus Union of India case of 2023. Here Supreme Court said that the practices like Jallikattu in Tamil Nadu, Kambala in Karnataka and bullock cart racing sports do not violate against the Article 51 AG and Article 51 AH, which is related to the fundamental duties of citizens to protect the animals and the environment. It also do not breach Article 14 and 21 of Indian Constitution, as well as do not violate the Prevention of Cruelty to Animal Act 1960. So it has given an immunity to these kind of cultural practices. Supreme Court also held that we should strike a balance between the tradition and the welfare concerns that is related to welfare of animals, environment. Okay, so this is very important case. You can use in the questions wherever these kind of conflicts are there or in the case studies. Next important case comes is the MK Ranjit Singh versus and others versus Union of India case. Okay, this is also very important case because in this case Supreme Court upheld it that protection from the adverse effect of the climate change recognized under Article 14 and Article 21. This is the case of 2024, very latest case and very important. We can use, because the climate change has been a favorite topic for the UPSC. This case can be used not only in GS1, GS2, GS3 as well as in GS4 writing case studies. So these were the different case laws which were in the news and very important to substantiate your points, to do the value addition in your mains answer writing, as well as to fetch the good marks in the mains examination. Thank you so much. We'll meet in the next value addition class and the answer writing class.